Okay, in this episode I'm going to show you how you can set up your iTunes correctly so that you can make smaller MP3 versions of different sermons. So if you go to your iTunes, notice I've got the sermon already on my iTunes. And what you want to do eventually is go to Create MP3 Version. First you have to change something in your iTunes. If you go to the Preferences, Import Settings. Now normally this would be, this is probably on maybe even Apple Lossless Encoder, but it's usually, the settings is usually set on one of these, in which case the sample rate is at 128, 160, or 192. What you want to do is go to Custom. I've already set it up correctly. If you go to 64, notice there's the 160, 192, and 128. Since we're just doing spoken word here, we can keep it at 64. And the sample rate, I just selected 48. I'm not sure if that really changes a whole lot in terms of the quality or the file size. But that looks good, so I'm going to press OK. Hit OK again so that I have the correct settings. And I'm going to go to Create MP3 Version. What iTunes does, it starts right underneath it. It creates another copy of it with the settings that we selected. And you can see here it's going to take a little while to convert, so I'm going to let that run and then come back. So here's my iTunes. It finished converting, and as you can see there's a second file here. Let's compare the two files. In the first file we've got this, it's 63.8 megs, and the bitrate was 160 kilobits per second. So kind of a big file. In the new one, it is now 25.6 megs at a bitrate of 64 kilobits per second. So this is a little bit easier to handle than the 64, whatever it was before. And if we can try and take a listen, this might help us out here.
10 through 17, and can be found on
from others. It actually harkens back to the very voice of the Lord Jesus himself when he said in John 16:33, I have said the...
So that's the 60-some meg file, and if you want to listen to the 25 meg file,
10 through 17, and can...
You know, specifically kind of teach about Paul's life anymore, but it's talking about a general situation. He's talking more about suffering.
And it sounds pretty good too. So I really can't tell any difference. So once you're done with that, you want to get rid of the old file. Click remove to trash just to free up some space. I don't need this in my iTunes anymore, so I'm just going to drag this over to the desktop. Oh, it's already there. So I would drag it over the desktop, and then I could get rid of this file and move that to trash. Alright, so that's about it, and this is just kind of a test to see how this whole presentation thing works, and hopefully that was easy enough to follow.